The portal is open, and everything it was holding for you is coming through. There are moments in life that feel like turning points even before you can explain why. You are in the middle of one right now. Not the kind of turning point that announces itself dramatically. Not the kind that shows up with obvious signposts and a clear narrative of before and after. The quieter kind, the kind that is already happening in the energetic layers of your existence before it becomes fully visible in the circumstances of your daily life. The kind where something large and real is shifting, and the evidence of it shows up first in small ways. A sense of something lifting, a quality of light that is slightly different, a feeling in the body that is hard to name but impossible to dismiss. Something is opening for you, something enormous, and it has been waiting with a patience that exceeds what you have sometimes been able to maintain for exactly this moment. The symbol that has been following you. Before we go any further, I want to ask you something. Have you been seeing the number 8 lately? Or is cousin Finneting's elegant continuous loop that has no beginning and no end, that goes on in its own quiet, uninterruptible way? In phone numbers, in timestamps, in license plates, in the random places that numbers appear in the background of a life you are moving through too quickly to always notice. If you have, this is why. The number 8 is not a coincidence right now. It is not the universe being random. It is a specific, deliberate signal, the cosmic equivalent of someone tapping you on the shoulder and pointing at something you need to see. The Lion's Gate portal, which activates in the numerological energy of 8-8, carries this symbol at its very core. The Lion of Leo season, the fire and the sovereignty and the particular quality of courage that comes not from the absence of fear, but from the willingness to move forward despite it. The infinity of a flow that does not stop, not for obstacles, not for past disappointments, not for the times when you almost gave up, believing that things could actually turn around. This portal is opening for you, and what it is unlocking has been held in preparation for longer than this lifetime. The doors that have been closed. Let's be honest about something, because this reading deserves honesty more than it deserves comfort. Things have been difficult, not in a vague, everyone has problems way, in a specific, personal, why does this keep happening to me way that has at various points made you question whether something was fundamentally broken about your situation, whether the things you wanted were simply not available to you, whether you were doing something wrong that you couldn't identify and therefore couldn't fix. You have been patient. genuinely, effortfully, sometimes exhaustingly patient. You have kept going when giving up would have been the easier choice. You have kept planting seeds in soil that did not always feel like it was going to yield anything. You have maintained faith imperfectly, with wobbles, with moments of real doubt in a future that kept refusing to arrive on the timeline you needed it to arrive on. And somewhere in the accumulation of all that effort, all that hoping, all that not. But maybe soon, you have probably at least once asked whether it was ever going to happen, whether the doors were ever going to open, whether the life you could feel but not quite touch was actually real, or whether you had simply been very good at imagining something that did not exist. Well, the doors are opening. Not metaphorically, not eventually. In this window of time, in this specific alignment of cosmic forces, the things that have been resisting your efforts are beginning to yield. The friction is decreasing. The accumulation of your consistent, faithful, unglamorous effort is meeting the moment where it gets to become something visible. What you have been planting is starting to grow. The power that is rising in you here is something worth naming clearly, because you may not have noticed it happening yet. You are becoming someone that people take more seriously. Not because you changed something obvious about yourself. Not because you made a strategic decision to present differently or project more confidence. But because something internal has shifted, is shifting in a way that expresses itself outward without requiring your conscious management of it. People are responding to you differently. Some with more respect, some with more care, some with a kind of alertness that was not there before. A recognition that you are not someone to be handled carelessly. That your presence in a room or a relationship carries a weight that deserves to be acknowledged rather than overlooked. The ones who have been treating you poorly, whether through thoughtlessness, through deliberate disregard, or through the quiet assumption that you would continue to absorb mistreatment without consequence, are beginning to feel something shift in the dynamic. Not because you have made speeches or issued ultimatums, but because the energy you carry is changing. And energy, when it changes at a deep enough level, does not need to announce itself. It simply becomes undeniable. You are becoming a force, not an aggressive one, not a loud one. The quiet, grounded, unassailable kind approve itself that does not need to prove itself because its presence is sufficient. The abundance that does not stop. The tap is running, not a trickle. Not the feast and famine rhythm that you may have become accustomed to, where good things arrive for a moment and then the pipeline closes again, where you have to ration hope because the supply has historically been unreliable. The tap is running in the way that the best taps run. Steadily, consistently, with the particular reliability of something that has been properly connected to its source. Financially, things are moving, not necessarily in one dramatic surge, but in the accumulative way that genuine financial stability tends to arrive. Opportunity by opportunity, decision by decision, until you look back and realize that the numbers tell a completely different story than they told 6 months ago. The flow, once it begins, does not stop. That is the nature of the infinity symbol. That is the nature of what is being unlocked. But abundance, real abundance, the kind that changes the quality of a life rather than just the balance of an account, is not only financial. The love that is coming is also part of the flow. The home that feels genuinely like home. The relationship that makes you feel genuinely, specifically, permanently safe. The physical vitality that comes with the particular glow of someone who is actually well. Not managing wellness, not performing health, but experiencing the real thing in their body. All of it is running, all the taps are running, and the source is not going to run dry. The glow up, that is already happening. You are in the middle of a transformation that is visible, even if you cannot always see it from inside it. There is a version of you, not a hypothetical or a distant future version, but one that is assembling itself from the materials of your current evolution, who is stronger, more alive, or more fully themselves than any previous version, who inhabits their own body with ease rather than tension, who walks into rooms carrying something that gets noticed, who looks in the mirror and sees not all the things that need to change, but the specific, recognizable, compelling face of someone who is in the process of becoming. This glow up is not about aesthetics, though the external changes may follow the internal ones. It is about alignment, the particular radiance that comes from a person who is finally actually in the right place in their own life. Doing the right things, moving in the right direction, which means that the certainty about their own worth that is no longer borrowed from other people's approval. That version of you is not arriving someday. It is arriving now. In the incremental way that genuine transformations actually happen. One decision, one choice, one day at a time. The deep realization. Here is the insight that this entire story has been building toward, the one that reframes not just this moment, but your entire history. Every decision you have ever made has been part of a path that was always heading somewhere real. The choices that felt wrong, the relationships that taught painful lessons, the, the periods of stagnation that felt like failure. Well, the moments where you took the long way around or stumbled or had to start something over from the beginning. Well, all of it has been the curriculum of a life that was preparing you for exactly this. You were not making mistakes and then recovering from them. Well, you were learning what could only be learned through the living of it. Well, and the person who arrives at this portal, at this opening, well, at this specific and powerful alignment of time and energy and accumulated readiness is someone who's earned their plexus in it through the honest, difficult, full, unglamorous work of continuing despite not always knowing why. Well, that person is you. Exactly as you are, not a future version that has fixed all the things you think need fixing. This version right now. Well, what your body has been telling you. There is a physical dimension to this reading that deserves space. Well, the solar plexus, the energy center located in the stomach, glowing in the yellow of Leo season and the sun's light, has been under pressure. Well, if you have been experiencing anxiety that lives in the gut, if tension has made a home in your midsection, well, if digestive discomfort or a chronic unease has been following you around in ways that are hard to explain, medically, this is where energy that has not been processed tends to collect. Well, the solar plexus is where personal power lives in the body. Well, and when personal power is suppressed, questioned, or under siege, whether from external circumstances or internal doubt, it creates exactly these symptoms in the physical. Well, the Lionsgate portal energy is moving through this area, clearing it, activating it, well, restoring to it the full, vibrant, clean energy that belongs there naturally, the confidence, the clarity, well, the gut level, knowing that you are exactly who you need to be and going exactly where you need to go. Well, the anxiety is lifting, the tension is releasing, the body, like the life, is coming into alignment. Well, you are the magnet. Here is perhaps the most practically useful thing in this entire reading, and it is surprisingly simple. You do not have to chase what you want anymore. Well, not in the frantic, effortful, I must make this happen through sheer force of will way that has probably characterized some of your most exhausting periods. Well, the elevation that is happening in your energy, the rise in personal power, the clearing of what has been blocking you, well, the opening of what has been closed is changing the basic mechanics of how things find their way to you. Well, you are becoming magnetic, and magnets do not run after what they want. They simply are what they are, and the things that belong with them are drawn in. Well, the opportunities that have been difficult to find are going to find you. The connection you have been hoping for is going to arrive without requiring you to perform for it. The small daily things you have been looking for, the right fit, the right feel, the right version of what you need, are going to appear when you stop forcing and start allowing. You, specifically, particularly you, are aligning with the timeline where all of this simply becomes your life. What comes next? The portal is open. The tap is running. The doors that were locked are unlocking. What comes next is not a dramatic or sudden transformation that leaves the old life unrecognizable overnight. What comes next is the daily lived incremental experience of a life that is genuinely improving, that is getting more right with each passing week. That is showing you in small and then in larger and then in undeniable ways that the patience was worth it, that the faith was warranted, that the things you believed about your own future were not delusion but foresight. See the infinity symbols when they appear. Notice the eights. Let confirmation from a universe that is paying attention and wants you to know it, and receive what is coming, not cautiously, not with one eye on the exit, waiting for the catch, with the open, trusting, deserving arms of someone who has finally completely earned this chapter. It is yours, all of it. Every abundant, loving, radiant, finally arrived bit of it. Welcome to your new timeline. Dear soul, before you leave, stay with me for just one more moment. If these words reached your heart, it's because they were meant to. This was never just another video. It was a divine appointment. Heaven wanted to remind you that your story is far from over. Right now, close your eyes for a moment and declare these words with faith. I am chosen. I am deeply loved. I am not forgotten. God is working for me even when I cannot see it. My breakthrough is coming, and my story is being written by His hands. Say it again. Speak it until the fear loses its voice. Speak it until hope rises inside you. Speak it until your heart believes what heaven has already spoken over your life. Carry these words with you today, tomorrow, and every day that follows. Whenever doubt whispers that nothing is changed, remember this moment. God has not abandoned you. He is preparing what you have been praying for, even in the silence. And if this message touched your soul, please don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone you love. Somewhere, someone is sitting alone, wondering if anyone sees their pain. Someone is on the verge of giving up praying for just one signs that God still hears them. Your share could be the answer to that prayer. It could be the message that restores someone's faith and reminds them they are deeply loved, seen, and never forgotten. If you feel led to support this mission of sharing God's hope and encouragement with people around the world, you can do so through a super thanks. Whether it's $5, $10, $20, or whatever God places on your heart, every gift becomes part of this ministry of reaching broken hearts with messages of faith, comfort, and love. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for standing with us. May the Lord bless you beyond anything you could imagine. May He open doors no one can shut, restore everything you've lost, bring peace where you've carried pain, and answer the prayers you've whispered through tears. May His favor surround you, His presence strengthen you, and His perfect timing bring every promise to life. Together, we are more than a community. We are a family of faith, lifting one another, believing together, and watching God write beautiful stories out of impossible situations.
It is such a powerful realization to understand that you do not have to be in a rush to uncover or discover your soul path and purpose, that it is always unfolding for you regardless of what it is you are doing in your life. In fact, a lot of the times, so many of us create unnecessary resistance to change that is inevitably going to take place anyway. And in doing so, we actually make the time draw out longer, right? We make the lessons more difficult by trying to attach and hold on to certain events that are unfolding in our life, not realizing that life is literally carrying you down this stream of frequency, this stream of energy the entire time. And here's where I want to go deeper into this. Your presence here in this world is a blessing. It is quite literally a miracle that you are alive in this world. And I am not just saying that lightly, because not everybody is going to resonate with this message. There are many people born into this world who are meant to be a powerful voice in this world, who were born with starseed energy or connection to some separate universe than this earth. I shouldn't say separate, a different expression of the universe than this earth. And you know it. Somewhere deep inside of you, you know that you did not come to this earth to be human. You came here to bring a divine presence, a very unique divine presence to this world based on the life experiences that you have had. Now here, again, I want to reiterate that you may have caused unnecessary resistance, have had to learn unnecessary lessons throughout your life by trying to grasp onto certain experiences along the way longer than you ever needed to. You didn't need to be involved with that person for, X amount of time. You only needed to cross paths with them. You only needed to pick up something energetically, exchange some sort of DNA codes, maybe exchange a single thought planted as a seed in your mind that then awakened you or initiated you into this completely new way of living your life. Sometimes that's it. And a lot of times, if you have these unresolved woundings and traumas from your childhood experiences, the experiences that are unfolding that you're just meant to kind of glide through end up getting stuck in these cycles, right? So the good news is there are ways to pull us out of that energy. And it's not by trying harder. It's not by doing more. That just creates more resistance. It's actually by surrendering into trust, clearing your frequency. That's why sound healing is so powerful. That's why meditation, breathwork, yoga, all of the things are so powerful. The music you listen to, the words, the thoughts that you allow your mind to intake, it all matters because it either creates resistance or creates flow with this channel of energy that the universe is literally guiding you through. And so, part of the responsibility of being on this journey of self-discovery is not about taking on more and healing more and doing more and perfecting more and learning more. Sometimes it's actually just about doing so much less and relaxing into the present moment, acknowledging what is most present with you. So that can be your thoughts, your minds, your behavioral patterns, your habits, your daily actions and choices. When you become present with those things, And you see them through the lens of higher awareness, which means you're not judging them, you're not trying to fix them or change them, you're just noticing them and allowing them to be present. If anything, it's more of an acceptance, a radical self-acceptance. Then from there, you can say, you know what, I see this. Thank you. I'm going to choose something different and see what happens. And it's only from that place of surrender. So like I said, this can be meditation where you just quiet your mind, or a sound bath where your frequency is quite literally being changed. That's when everything becomes so clear, because that is when your channel becomes clearer and purer of, frequency for divine energy, for your soul's truth to then channel through you into this world and guide you forward. Believe it or not, when you are most in alignment with divine, with your soul's truth, you're not doing more. You're doing less. You're doing more aligned actions. You're doing so much less. You're not trying anymore. You're simply showing up and being present. And the universe is flowing through you. Your soul energy is flowing through you. So if you are ready to experience this on a deeper level, and you feel like you would like to learn and explore the practices that might help you to get there, my sister Emily is guiding us through a somatic flow coming up on Wednesday. So this is a live guided meditation. We offer up to 4 guided meditations every week through the Angel Archetype Society. These are the practices that don't require you to do anything other than show up and be willing and be present. A lot of this is just going to be relaxation, clearing the mind, clearing the body, letting go of any stored and stuck energy. And it's such a beautiful practice to add into your routine. So if you feel called to join, the link is in my bio. These guided sessions are only available in the Angel Archetype Society. We are cultivating such a safe and healthy community of divine feminine embodiment for anyone who is finally ready to cross that threshold and finally ready to release the work and simply embody the presence. So sending you so much love. I hope to see you there.